Menerusi dasar belia negara, kita juga menitik beratkan peningkatan ilmu pengetahuan. Kerana ilmu adalah tonggak bagi pembangunan. Tanpa ilmu, pembangunan tidak mungkin dapat dilaksanakan. Ini juga sangat perlu kepada belia. Maka ke arah ini, generasi belia perlu celik teknologi terkini, kemahiran teknik dan vocational, serta mempunyai basic keusahawanan selaras dengan kehendak pembangunan negara. Berita juga menggalakkan supaya generasi belia menyertai organisasi atau aktiviti sukarela yang dapat memupuk gaya hidup yang sehat, cergas dan dinamik. Amalan ini tidak diragukan lagi dapat menghasilkan pemimpin-pemimpin yang berkualiti.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. I'm Azrul Bakar and welcome to News at 10, the top stories tonight. His Majesty the Sultan Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam receives in audience the heads of delegation attending the 11th China-ASEAN Prosecutors General Conference. Brunei athletes are urged to show their dedication, commitment and high discipline at the Asia Games in Indonesia. His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan Al-Bolkiah Mu'izzuddin wa Daulah Ibni Almarhum Sultan Haji Omar Ali Saifuddin Sadul Khariwaddin, Sultan Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam, received in audience 11 heads of delegation attending the 11th China-ASEAN Prosecutors General Conference. The ceremony was held this afternoon at Istana Nurul Iman. The two-day conference opened today. Present at the audience ceremony was His Royal Highness Prince Haji Al-Muhtadi Billah, the Crown Prince and Senior Minister at the Prime Minister's Office. His Majesty received His Excellency Zhang Jun, the Procurator General of the People's Republic of China, Her Excellency Madam Chia Liang, the Prosecutor General of the Kingdom of Cambodia, His Excellency Wong Yun Kwai Lucian, Senior Counsel SC, Attorney General of the Republic of Singapore, His Excellency Jaisana Kotpupon, the Deputy Supreme People's Prosecutor of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, His Excellency Win Myint, the Deputy Attorney General of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, His Excellency Dr. Armin Shah, the Vice Attorney General of the Republic of Indonesia, Her Excellency Datin Paduka Zawiyah B. binti Tiloth Khan, the Second Solicitor General of Malaysia, His Excellency Natachak Patamasing Naayutia, Inspector General of the Kingdom of Thailand, His Excellency Tran Kong Pan, the Deputy Prosecutor General of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, His Excellency David Leung Chok Yin, Senior Counsel SC, Director of Public Prosecutions, Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, and His Excellency Ip Son Sang, the Prosecutor General of Macau Special Administrative Region. Also present at the ceremony were Yang Berhormat Datuk Paduka Awang Haji Hairul Arni bin Haji Abdul Majid, the Attorney General, and Dayang Zuraini binti Haji Syarbawi, the Solicitor General. His Royal Highness Prince Haji Sufri Bolkiah Ibni Al-Marhum Sultan Haji Omar Ali Saifuddin Sadul Khariwaddin, President of Brunei Darussalam National Olympic Council, urged Brunei's athletes to show their dedication, commitment and high discipline at the Asia Games. Such qualities and traits are a trust they must uphold towards bringing glory to the country. The athletes are also reminded to safeguard their safety and not to break the law, such as doping. His Royal Highness made the reminder in the handing over of the national flag to Brunei's contingent to the 18th Asia Games to be held in Jakarta and Palembang, Indonesia. The ceremony was held at Bilik Hijau of the Hasanah Bolkiah National Stadium in Barakas. It began with the reading of Surah Al-Fatihah, led by Yang Dimuliakan Pihin Orang Kaya Paduka Setia Raja, Datu Paduka Sri Setia Haji Awang Suhaili bin Haji Muhyiddin. In his sabda, His Royal Highness said that the national athletes and officials who are selected to represent the country need not be reminded of the meaning of anti-doping. They should know the rules of safeguarding themselves from elements that go against anti-doping. If in any case they are ignorant of the regulations, His Royal Highness emphasized that they are not qualified to represent the country either as athletes or officials. The athletes are also advised to focus on their quest, show that they are really determined and fight hard in the challenges. Aside from that, they must also prove their best performance at the Games. Earlier on, Yang Berhormat retired Major General Datu Paduka Sri Haji Aminuddin Ihsan bin Pihin Rangkaya Saiful Muluk Datu Sri Paduka Haji Abidin, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, in his welcoming address, emphasized on the need for the athletes to show a solidified front. They must stay united and perform the best of their ability for the sake of the nation. Through discipline, Yang Berhormat believed that the athletes can bring glory and uplift the country. His Royal Highness consented to present the national flag to Dayang Umi Kalthum bin Haji Abdul Karim, chef de mission to the 18th Asia Games. Brunei is represented by 15 athletes and 16 officers. To bless the ceremony, Doa Selamat was read by Yang Dimuliakan Pihin Orang Kaya Paduka Sri Setia Raja, Datu Paduka Sri Setia Haji Awang Suhaili bin Haji Muhyiddin. Also present at the event was His Excellency Dr. Sujat Miko, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Brunei Darussalam. Some of the athletes will depart for Indonesia tomorrow. Brunei takes part in 7 events, namely track and field, wushu, weightlifting, equestrian, golf, karate and pencak silat. The Asia Games will kick off on the 18th of August and conclude on the 2nd of September. It is the second biggest sports meet after the Olympics. The Games is held every 4 years under the patronage of the Asia Olympic Council (OCA). Brunei Darussalam and the Republic of Singapore expressed deep satisfaction in the state of bilateral relations, especially in the field of defence. Details next. First is excerpt of His Majesty's Tita. The second Minister of Defence and the Singapore Minister for Defence reaffirmed the excellent and long-standing bilateral defence ties between Brunei Darussalam and Singapore. The statement was made during a courtesy call by Yang Berhormat Pihin Datu Laila Raja, retired Major General Datu Paduka Sri Haji Awang Halbi bin Haji Muhammad Yusof, to His Excellency Dr. Ng Hen. The visit by Yang Berhormat Pihin was at the invitation of the Singapore Minister of Defence. During the meeting, both ministers expressed deep satisfaction in the state of bilateral relations, especially in the field of defence. Before the meeting, Yang Berhormat Pihin reviewed and inspected a guard of honour mounted by personnel of the Singapore Armed Forces. During the call, both sides exchanged views on a range of current security issues, highlighting the growing importance of working closely together to address these challenges. They discussed matters on Singapore's chairmanship at the ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting, ADMM, where Yang Berhormat Pihin expressed Brunei Darussalam's wholehearted support for the upcoming ADMM and ADMM Plus meetings in October. The second Minister of Defence also had the opportunity to meet key political figures and senior officials of Singapore on the sidelines of the visit. They included the Deputy Prime Minister and Coordinating Minister for National Security, His Excellency Teo Chee Hean, Senior Minister of State for the Ministry of Defence and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Maliki bin Osman, and the Deputy Secretary of Special Projects, Mr. David Koh Tee Hian. On the last day of his visit, Yang Berhormat Pihin toured the Air Force's Unmanned Aerial Vehicle UAV Command and a cyber security facility. Human creativity today has been exploited to distort truth and create false stories with the aim to deliberately misinform the public for various interests and purposes. The biggest challenge is to guarantee the credibility and reliability of the sources of information. Without doubt, fake news is a threat not only to the government but also to society's trust in each other. Hence, there is need for education at all levels on the responsible use of digital technology, the collective ASEAN way to engage media providers and enhance data security. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Istia Awang Haji Abdul Mukti bin Haji Muhammad Daud stressed that such misinformation requires swift response in order to avert public confusion and social disharmony that may harm a country's socio-political stability. Speaking at the opening of the 11th China-ASEAN Prosecutor General Conference, CAPGC, this morning, the Minister at the Prime Minister's office also touched on a number of initiatives to tackle cybercrime.
Firstly, strengthening enforcement in order to ensure that our nation and population are protected. Secondly, the establishment of the Cybersecurity Working Group to coordinate information sharing and formulate joint action to address cybercrime and cybersecurity matters. Thirdly, the setting up of a cybercrime focus group by the Attorney General that aims to continuously study and research international best practices while ensuring our laws are compliant with international standards. Fourthly, creating a strong legal framework in any national strategy to address cybercrime. In relation to this, Brunei Darussalam became the first country in this region to establish a child online protection framework built upon the International Telecommunication Union. Child Online Protection Initiative in support of the country's priority in protecting children and younger generation. Lastly, public awareness campaigns and outreach programs initiated by the Attorney General's Office in educating younger generation and disseminating preventive messages to reduce vulnerability to cybercrime, especially through social media.
Meanwhile, Yang Berhormat Datuk Paduka Awang Haji Hairul Arni bin Haji Abdul Majid, the Attorney General, as chairman of the conference, in his opening remarks, shared some of the Attorney General Chamber AGC Brunei Darussalam's initiatives in addressing cybercrime. According to Yang Berhormat, the prosecution unit is very much involved in ensuring that perpetrators are brought to justice.
Our prosecution unit is very much involved in ensuring that perpetrators are brought to justice. And that appropriate legal measures are in place to deal with any issues pertaining to transnational crime, including cybercrimes. Since 2011 until December 2017, chambers have prosecuted 14 offences related to cybercrimes, in particular those related to social media such as defamation, spreading of false information, and uploading of obscene media on various social media platforms. As part of the Criminal Justice Division ongoing effort to deal with cases of social media offending justly and efficiently, we have developed a guideline to our approach. These guidelines were introduced in January 2017, but are by no means a checklist which we must adhere to. There are matters which ought to be present in prosecutors' mind in deciding whether or not prosecution is appropriate, and help to ensure a consistent approach across the division to matters concerning social media offending.
The conference focused on the sharing of best practices to address the challenges emerging from the prevalence of cybercrime. Also in attendance was Datin Sri Paduka Dayang Haji Linda binti Haji C.M. Hamad, Deputy Minister at the Prime Minister's Office. Themed Enhancing Capabilities and Cooperation in Addressing Cybercrime, the two-day conference was held at the Riskun International Hotel, Gadong. Brunei Darussalam is hosting the 5th Strategic Educational Alliance of Southeast Asia Conference, C-Square 2018. The conference aims to bring schools from Southeast Asia together to create greater synergy between educators and students in the region. Dr. Haji Azman bin Ahmad, Permanent Secretary for Higher Education at the Ministry of Education, in his speech also expressed his belief that educators are able to create or strengthen cross-cultural networks among them through respectful partnership and exchange of expertise.
In line with the aim of C2, that is to bring schools from Southeast Asia together to create greater synergy between educators and students in the region, I would like to urge the participants and the participating schools to seize every opportunity, explore every potential collaboration with each other in areas of relevance to your school, to your educational needs, as well as to your national aspirations through the various avenues and partnerships, programs as well as platforms for the future development and success of education in the region.
The 5-day conference carries the theme ASEAN Speaks, Origin of Language. The ASEAN delegation also visited several interesting places in the country. Also present was Dayan Nadia Lee Siew-hun binti Abdullah, Deputy Permanent Secretary for Core Education at the Ministry of Education.
Pada tahun ini, tumpuan yang utama adalah bahagian Origins of Language. Kita membawa mereka ke daerah-daerah, ke Tutong, ke Belait, dan mereka akan mempelajari puak-puak Brunei. Kami akan membawa mereka ke Taman Sungai Basong, di mana mereka akan diperkenalkan dengan puak-puak yang ada di sana.
The low-income group can now benefit from cheap and easy agriculture technology. Stay with us for the story and more after this.
Assalamualaikum. Kami ini menelpon Berita untuk memberitahu yang Berita telah memenangi hadiah sebanyak RM10,000.
Tipunya tu?
Untuk mengambil hadiah ini, kami memerlukan beberapa maklumat daripada Berita sebagai pengesahan.
Mana ada tu?
Apa nama penuh Berita sama nombor bank akaun Berita untuk kami transfer duit ini?
Ini adalah satu penipuan. Jangan sesekali memberikan maklumat peribadi anda kepada orang yang tidak dikenali.
We all crave for success, but nothing great ever comes easy. In everything we do, building a strong foundation is the platform for success tomorrow. Together, we are building a nation.
The introductory project to cheap and easy agriculture technologies hope to disseminate cheap technology which is applicable to those interested in the agricultural field, particularly the low-income group, including youth and single mothers. This morning, 2 single mothers received the agricultural technology from the Brunei Islamic Religious Council, MUID, and the Community Development Department, JAPIM, in Kampung Melaut and Kampung Bengkurong. The models were handed over by Dang Haji Aida binti Haji Muhammad Hanifah, Director of Agriculture and Agri-Food. Each system planting unit costs between $30 and $50, with the potential monthly production worth $300. The Agricultural and Agri-Food will also help to organize matchmaking to facilitate farmers to sell their products through negotiation with nearby restaurants or supermarkets, sell directly at a whole market or through online sales.
Alhamdulillah, ini memang baiklah. Pasal kami orang susah kan, jadi gulayan apa dapat yang balik macam-macam, bayam, sawi, timun, kacang dapat juga dijual. Kalau ada lebihnya kan dijual, untuk digulai jual lah. Dia dah batah tu. Kalau kita kan dalam belum sampai seminggu tumbuh.
Alhamdulillah, kami menerima bantuan dari Jabatan Pertanian, dapat juga menyara kami sekeluarga. InsyaAllah kami akan menjualnya sayur-sayuran ini nanti.
To raise awareness on autism among school teachers, the Yayasan Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah Primary School through the Learning Support Centre LSC this afternoon organised a visit to Smarter Centre in Kampung Mata-Mata Gadong. The 25-member delegation was led by Dayang Hajah Nur Saidah binti Haji Hassan, head of LSC. The visit also saw a presentation of donations from the school in the form of student necessities such as toys, clothing and books. The activity was part of World Autism Awareness Day.
And you will also take this one. What is now? What and this will here. So the students are involved with all the activity. They already know what they're going to do because this teacher will have their own system. Kelas renjal lain gitu.
Wednesday. I'm saying properly. Good job.
In a week's time, millions of Hajj pilgrims will perform the Wukuf at Arafah, the highlight of the annual pilgrimage at the Holy Land. Preparations for Brunei's pilgrims at Arafah and Mina are going smoothly. The camps at Arafah can accommodate 1,000 people. Other facilities include a large space for praying that can fill 750 people in a dining area.
Saya minta dari Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala membiarkan saya bantu jemaah haji tiap-tiap tahun, khusus jemaah haji Brunei, karena saya proud untuk bekerja dengan jemaah haji Brunei. Syarikat-syarikat, masya Allah, sekarang dengan saya macam saudara. Semuanya sudah terkenal lama. Kita kerja macam partner.
According to Datu Jamil Sulaiman Bundagi, the general manager of Nozoli Company, his firm is responsible for providing facilities for the comfort of Bruneians when they reach Arafah and Mina. While waiting for the day of Arafah, Brunei's pilgrims fill their time by engaging in various religious rites. One of the recommended rituals is carrying out the Umrah or small Hajj. Brunei pilgrims take advantage of the opportunity to gain blessings from Allah the Almighty. Boarding buses provided by the Hajj service companies and providers, the pilgrims express their niyat or intention at the Aisha Mosque in Tanaim. The distance between the mosque and the Masjid al-Haram is about 30 to 45-minute drive. Some of the pilgrims have performed Umrah more than once as soon as they arrive from Medina al-Munawwara. The international media that are invited by the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Information to perform Hajj this year have been invited for a special meeting for the ministry's Umrah and Hajj executive management. Among the activities lined up included a visit to the Mushaf al-Quran Raja Fahad printing complex in Medina. The complex is the largest printing complex for Al-Quran and its translation into Malay and English languages.
Salah satu sesi lawatan yang dijadualkan oleh Kementerian Arab Saudi untuk jemputan tetamu haji media antarabangsa pada tahun ini ialah berkunjung dan melawat bangunan percetakan Mushaf Al-Quran Raja Fahad di Madinah dan merupakan yang terbesar di dunia yang mencetak Al-Quran dan terjemahannya dalam bahasa Melayu dan Inggeris.
Committee who are observing the text of the Holy Quran and then the
Sebanyak 18 juta naskah Al-Quran dicetak setiap tahun dan keramaian pekerjanya lebih 1,100 orang. Bangunan ini berkeluasan 250 km persegi dan mula beroperasi sejak tahun 1984 dan ianya adalah menepati kehendak dan keperluan semasa. Zainuddin Haji Ahmad Zaini melaporkan dari Kota Madinah.
Students sitting for the GCEO and A-level exams and the primary school assessment PSR should be prepared by now as the exams are approaching. Parents should raise awareness on the importance of knowledge among the children and motivate them to do better. Seven suspects are believed to be the mastermind behind 2 cases of house break-ins and 2 cases of stolen vehicles in Kuala Belait, Syria and Barakas last month. Investigation and monitoring carried out by the Blight District Police personnel has led to the arrest of 6 locals and 1 permanent resident aged between 17 and 37 years old. The investigation also found out that 5 of the 7 suspects had past criminal records and had served their sentence. The police have also gathered almost all evidence from the house break-ins and stolen vehicles. All suspects are brought before court and the case will be heard again on the 16th of this month. The Royal Brunei Police Force have confirmed information and picture that went viral on social media regarding an incident of a man trespassing a residence and was found asleep. The police received an emergency call at 9:30 in the morning. Initial investigation found out that the suspect is a local resident aged 34 years old. He was believed to be involved in a trespassing and vandalism case. The suspect is being held at the police station for further investigation. Members of the public with information on the incident are urged to report to the Central Police Station or nearest police station. 2 men, a local and a permanent resident, were brought before the Bandar Seri Begawan Magistrates Court for offences under the 2006 excise order. Azmi bin Zaidi, aged 40, was fined $6,000 or 6 months imprisonment after he was found guilty of possessing 10 cartons of cigarettes. The discovery was made during a raid on the 1st of September 2014 in Kampong Jerudong. He was given a month to pay the fine. Meanwhile, Muhammad Faiz bin Abdullah, aged 56, was fined $3,000 for bringing in 3 cartons of cigarettes, 12 cans and 4 bottles of alcoholic drinks in the car through the Kuala Lumpur control post on the 12th of August 2017. He was given 2 months to settle the fine. Failure to do so, he will be sent to prison for 3 months. All the contraband confiscated to be destroyed. The enforcement section of the Municipal Board has issued a compound fine of $200 to Syarikat Liah Jaya after being found guilty of rubbish dumping at public areas. The company was found guilty after dumping plastic, wood and rubbish in a building in Kampong Bunut. Meanwhile, a Bangladeshi, Muhammad Naim, was fined $100 after being found guilty of rubbish dumping in Kampong Delanai. They were given a week to settle the compounds. Failure to pay the fine, the case will be brought to court. Members of the public and business premises are reminded not to throw or dump rubbish indiscriminately, particularly in public places, and are advised to maintain environmental cleanliness and health. Any complaints can be directed to Talian Darussalam 123 or through its website at www.123.gov.bn. Water disruption will affect most areas in the Brunei Muara district tomorrow. The disruption starts at 9 in the morning. Low water pressure will also occur at higher areas. According to a media release by the Water Services Department, the interruption is due to repair works to be carried out on the broken 1,220mm main pipe at Simpang 41 of Kampong Kilanas Industrial. Brunei is currently experiencing a hazy condition. This is due to predominant hotspots in Borneo brought over by the prevailing southwesterly wind. According to a media release by the Department of Environment, Parks and Recreation, satellite imagery from the ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center (SMSC) has detected a total of 265 hotspots scattered mostly in the southern and western parts of Borneo. The pollutant standard index (PSI) showing a reading of particulate matter 10 in the 4 districts was relatively higher than normal. Meanwhile, the air quality in Brunei is at good to moderate level. The Ministry of Health said that at moderate PSI readings of between 50 and 100, healthy individuals may be able to carry out outdoor physical activities. But children, the elderly and people with asthma, lung and heart disease are advised to reduce outdoor physical activities. The public are also advised to drink plenty of water and report to the nearest health centre if they show symptoms such as coughing, runny nose, eye irritation and breathing difficulty. The Department of Environment, Parks and Recreation said it is closely monitoring the situation. The public will be kept informed of the air quality updates through RTB radio stations and the department's website. In the meantime, the public are advised to refrain from conducting open burning and other actions that may worsen the haze condition. A look at the Nisab Zakat or tithe rates for cash and property. Moving on to the foreign exchange rates between the Brunei dollar and some international and regional currencies. In world news and the top stories tonight. Indonesia's President Joko Widodo visited the area of the country worst hit by last week's 6.9 magnitude earthquake as the death toll climbed to more than 400. More than 350,000 people fled their homes after the 6.9 magnitude quake to shelter in government-provided tents or makeshift structures in open fields. Authorities say aid is low in getting to some of the hardest hit areas as they are remote. The death toll is now at 436, the National Disaster and Mitigation Agency has announced. Indonesia's National Disaster Mitigation Agency said Lombok suffered damage running into more than $342 million from last week's huge earthquake, mostly to homes and infrastructure. 4 days ahead of the opening ceremony of the Asian Games in Jakarta, Indonesians are concerned over the unhealthy air in Jakarta and forest fire hotspots near Palembang in South Sumatra. Traffic congestion in Indonesia's sprawling capital of 10 million consistently ranks among the world's worst, and it has long struggled to boost air quality, regularly rated as unsafe by the World Health Organization (WHO). Jakarta residents said they were worried about their health, and some blamed an aging transport system for the capital city's poor air quality. Strategies being considered include wider curbs on private cars depending on whether their license plate numbers are odd or even, creating special lanes for the sports event, and building gardens. To combat forest fires, the Indonesian Directorate General of Climate Change said they were increasing budget for fire prevention to stop them from happening in the first place. Mexican President-elect Andrés Manuel López Obrador said that his administration will invest more than $11 billion to boost refining capacity to curb growing fuel imports. López Obrador, who will take office on December 1st, told reporters his government plans to invest $2.6 billion to modernize existing domestic refineries owned and operated by national oil company Pemex and spend another $8.4 billion to build a new one within 3 years. The $8.4 billion figure is higher than the $6 billion estimate provided by a key energy advisor during the campaign. López Obrador, said to become Mexico's first leftist president in decades, did not detail how the projects would be financed or whether private capital would be involved, but he has often said he will not raise taxes or grow government debt. Mexico is among Latin America's largest crude exporters, but it is also the biggest importer of U.S. refined products. The country's next president has pledged to lift refining capacity, which he says has declined due to corruption and neglect. Iraq signed a $369 million contract with Petrofac to build a new crude processing facility in the giant Majnoon oil field, a senior oil executive told Reuters. Under the deal terms, work to build a new facility, which has the capacity to produce 200,000 barrels per day, should be completed in 34 months, said Ihsan Abdul Jabbar, head of the state-run Basra Oil Company. Once the new oil facility is operational, Majnoon's production will rise to around 450,000 barrels per day. The field is now producing around 230,000, said Abdul Jabbar. Iraq plans to invite service companies soon to compete for a tender to drill new 80 oil wells in Majnoon as part of a development plan to boost output from the field, said the BOC chief. In June, Royal Dutch Shell exited the Majnoon oil field in southern Iraq and handed over its operations to the state-run Basra Oil Company. Egypt's president said that Cairo is deeply concerned about security in the Red Sea following an attack by Yemen's Houthis on 2 oil tankers that forced Saudi Arabia to suspend crude shipments temporarily through the Strait of Bab al-Mandab. Speaking at a joint news conference with his Yemeni counterpart, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also said Cairo was committed to helping Yemen regain its security after more than 3 years of war that has killed thousands of people. Last month, Saudi Arabia temporarily halted oil shipments through Bab al-Mandab, citing security concerns after Iran-aligned Yemen's Houthis attacked 2 oil tankers in the Red Sea near the Strait with missiles, damaging 1 vessel. Although Saudi Arabia resumed oil shipments through the Strait several days later, the incident has highlighted the magnitude of the situation in the area where fighting between the Houthis and supporters of Hadi's government has been raging since 2015. COSCO, or the China Ocean Shipping Company Netherlands, a giant Chinese merchant vessel, is sailing on the Indian Ocean towards Greece and plans to finally reach Valencia, Spain on August the 31st. It is the first time for the multifunctional vessel owned by China COSCO Shipping Corporation Limited to take this route. In November 2013, 1 month after China proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, COSCO Netherlands was completed at a Chinese shipyard. As the 5th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative approaches, the nearly 5-year-old COSCO Netherlands departed from Yangshan Deep Water Port in Shanghai at the end of July, starting its new voyage from the east to the Mediterranean. The ship had travelled from the East China Sea to the South China Sea and berthed in ports of Ningbo, Kaohsiung, Hong Kong, Shenzhen and Singapore. COSCO Netherlands, 366 meters long, 51 meters wide and 67 meters high, can carry up to 13,386 TEU. COSCO Shipping offers services on more than 130 routes along the Belt and Road, namely the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. These routes account for a capacity of 1,200,000 TEU, more than 60% of the company's total container traffic. A car crashed into pedestrians and cyclists near the Houses of Parliament in London, and police arrested a man on suspicion of terrorism. The London Ambulance Service said that the 2 people sustained injuries and were taken to hospital, but their condition is not believed to be serious. Police said none of the injuries were life-threatening and they could not immediately determine whether the incident was terrorism-related. London's police force said in a statement on Twitter the male driver of the car was detained by officers at the scene. A number of pedestrians have been injured. Officers remain at the scene. Westminster Underground Station close to Parliament was closed and the building cordoned off. No one was being allowed entry to Parliament. As Parliament is in recess for summer, most lawmakers are not using the building. Groups of youth set fire to cars as they went on the rampage in the Swedish city of Gothenburg and a few surrounding towns last night in attacks Prime Minister Stefan Löfven said looked organized. Police said that up to 100 cars and riders set fire to or vandalized in Gothenburg, Sweden's second biggest city, and nearby towns such as Trollhättan, an industrial area of high unemployment, and Falkenberg. Police did not say what might have spurred the violence, confirming only that gangs of youths were involved, but did not say how many people. The police spokeswoman said the perpetrators had been organized and prepared. A handful of cars were also burned overnight in Stockholm. At least 12 people died and 30 more were injured after the bus they were travelling on crashed and overturned in Azuay province, Ecuador, after leaving a local football match. The bus was loaded with fans from Ecuadorian football team Barcelona SC as they travelled home from Cuenca after a match against Deportivo Cuenca. Cuenca fire officials spoke to local media and said the bus was seen trying to overtake another before it veered off. The bus crashed on the 55-kilometre Cuenca-Molletouro highway on its way to Guayaquil. Rain-triggered floods in South India's Kerala state have claimed 39 lives while causing a heavy property loss totaling nearly $1.2 billion. In Aluva, one of the worst affected areas in the state, the region's landmark Shiva temple remains submerged in floodwater with only its roof above water. Though the floods have receded from many neighbourhoods, people's daily lives in the affected areas are not yet back to normal. According to statistics from India's meteorological authorities, this year's monsoon rainfall in Kerala state has quadrupled an annual average, with the daily precipitation in many areas exceeding 150 millimetres in August. A state with 44 rivers, Kerala state experienced severe flooding during this monsoon season. The state's floods have so far displaced more than 54,000 people. A rare tornado touched down in Jinghai district of North China's Tianjin municipality, snapping utilities poles in half and causing damage to local homes. The tornado was formed at around 5:30 p.m. and barreled through swathes of crop fields and several villages. Videos taken by local residents showed the sizable tornado from a distance and a glass roof shaking while the fierce wind carrying debris across. Fortunately, no one was severely injured except a man in Shibuli village who was slightly bruised, according to the emergency response team. Shibuli village was one of the most affected areas with a utility pole snapping in half when hitting a car. A cottage was flattened while damage to varying degrees has also been caused to some orchards. The clear-up work and repairs to the broken power facilities are currently underway. In sports, the Pankah Regu Top Spinning Championship, in conjunction with His Majesty the Sultan Yang Dipertuan of Brunei Darussalam 72nd birthday celebration, raised its curtains last night at the top spinning arena of the Hassan Al Bolkiah National Sports Complex in Barakas. The championship was organised by the Brunei Darussalam National Top Spinning Association. 8 categories were competed, with Pankah Regu match played in groups comprising 5 players for each team. In the first match, Jurudong D team in blue faced Jurudong A and drew 0-0. Meanwhile, Sri Manang team in green lost to Putat Villa 0-3. The general local weather for the next 24 hours is expected to be partly cloudy with chance of isolated showers. Tonight the weather is expected to be partly cloudy, sea slight at 0.5 to 1 meter, wind is from southwest at 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow morning the weather will be generally partly cloudy, sea remains light at 0.5 to 1 meter, wind is from southwest at 5 to 15 kilometers per hour. And the afternoon will be sunny with chance of isolated showers, sea is light at 0.5 to 1 meter, wind is from northwest at 10 to 30 kilometers per hour. Wallahu alam bisawab. Finally, let's ponder on these words of wisdom from a Tasawwuf cleric, Al-Hassan al-Basri. Part of being a Muslim are always patient during hardship, will not succumb to anger, and will not be influenced by conceit or defend those in the wrong. And that concludes News at 10 for this evening. Good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.